Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about just our people and our foolishness and just how we don't know who we are. Honestly, like I was listening to my Bible app this morning, and I'm in Ezekiel now, and I was just one part of it was like resonating with me the most. Of sorry, I was putting lotion on my hands, but the part where God was telling Ezekiel what was going to happen to the children of Israel because of them constantly going into sin and rebellion and all the foolishness we were doing, like sacrificing the children, Moloch. God was saying like the blood is polluting the land, and the Sodomites by the temple, and just worshiping all these gods and all these groves and all this stuff. And then also the part where Jeremiah was talking to them and what they did to Jeremiah. And they were like, was Jeremiah or Isaiah? I think it was Jeremiah. But Jeremiah was like, yeah, so this is what God told me. And if you do this, then, basically things will be better. And they were like, yeah, so everything you said, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep worshiping how we've been worshiping. And when we were worshiping the Queen of Heaven, we were good. We had food and all this stuff. But ever since we stopped doing that, we over here in famine and just going through a lot of stuff. So we're not going to sit here and listen to you. And it's like, do you not have a brain inside of your head? So that was crazy. But anyway, Ezekiel, he was just seeing how I think it was the angel, or I forgot who, but they killed all the people without the mark that were, in rebellion and serving all the other gods and stuff. And the ones that had the mark were basically the ones that still were basically serving God. And Ezekiel was crying, and he was like, "Are you gonna kill everyone?" And God was just telling him, like, they rebellious people, they don't be listening. And I was like, hey, God patience from Genesis. Well, not Genesis. Yeah, from Genesis, because Eve and Adam fell, and then Cain, and then he had Exodus, children of Israel, and then they just kept going. They just complaining in the wilderness and all types of stuff. And then we're in Ezekiel, and it's just they keep getting worse and worse. As the generations go on, they just keep getting further and further from the light. And so I was just thinking about the scripture, like when Ezekiel was saying, "Are you gonna slay everybody?" And he was crying because of what was going on, and like just them not listening, and how God was telling Ezekiel to talk to them, and how they wasn't listening, and Jeremiah was talking to him, Isaiah talked to him, and they not listening, and then I'm just like, bro, it's sad. And it's the fact that he literally still wants us, right? And he, like the promises he has in Jeremiah, I think it's 30, where he talks about it throughout the Old Testament, but like I think it's Jeremiah 30 specifically, where he was just saying how he's gonna regather us, all us that he scattered around the world. He's gonna gather us again. We're gonna be in the New Jerusalem and things like that. And David's gonna be our king, which is Jesus. And so, yeah. But I was thinking about like the part with Ezekiel, and then I was thinking about Deuteronomy 28 and how it's so obvious. I don't know why people don't get this stuff, but just the part where he's like, about the curses, right? The blessings and the curses. Like if you do this, you'll be blessed, and then the curses, by us not doing what he told us, and all the stuff. Like build a house, and you're not gonna live in it. You plant stuff, you're not gonna eat it. Your children are gonna be born, and they're gonna go to someone else that you don't know. in another land, be sold. You're going to be sold in ships to a land you don't know. How you're going to be fearing for your life day and night. All these things. You're going to have diseases, and you're going to be worshiping gods of wood and stone those that your father never knew, and brought to land that you don't know. And it's like, oh, I wonder who that is. It's like, you don't even apply that to anybody else. It's like, who else was brought in ships? Who else was sold in ships around the world, scattered all over the place? Who else is treated like crap and living destitute around the world, everywhere you go? Like, it's so obvious. Like, you go to anywhere in the world, go to any city, like, in the States, right? You see they have the hoods, they have slums, they have ghettos, and then you go to another part of the neighborhood, they have a nice neighborhood, they have streets are nice, houses are nice, grass cut, looking green, and they all more richer neighborhoods, mostly Caucasian people live in there. And you can see this in mostly every, oh my bad, let's check my notifications. I have an order for my food come here so I can make my recipe. But yeah, so you have all that going, right? And I was just thinking like how our people, just after listening to Jeremiah and Isaiah and now Ezekiel, Lamentations, the past couple weeks or so, and I was like, man, our people are literally so lost. Like, this is why we are the way we are. And also just was thinking about talk about this because of what's going on with us as a people nowadays. And not even just us, but like people of color, like Hispanics, Mexicans, just people of color, and Trump in office and all this stuff and what's happening, and deportation, the what is it, the ICE people, I think that's what they're called, just all this stuff happening to us, right? And like people being scared of like, OMG, like, is my mom or my family member, my dad, are they gonna get deported? And you're not really hearing how any of this stuff is affecting palm colored people, Caucasian people. And the Bible literally tells us, right, that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? And it's all spiritual, right? So, sorry for if you hear noise in the background. But one, I'm doing my laundry, and two, there's probably people with their kids in like, I'm in like a church building, but in like an apartment in like the church building, so it's like a really big building. So like there'd be like church and stuff, and people here doing school and all that stuff. But anyways, child. So yeah, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. So like a lot of people could see it as like, let me just close my door. Anyway, a lot of people could see it as like, oh, this is like a black and white thing. And also I could get into that, but like every other person has nationality. They're Native American, Irish, Romanian, Nigerian, Kenyan, Indian, Asian, Chinese. But for some reason, they want to appear us Negroes from Negro land. You could go research that for yourself. They call us black. And then for Caucasians, they call them white. And it's just like, where in the Bible it tells you, like, people are from nations. People are from certain tribes and things like that. It's not about color. So it's not about color, right? It is spiritual. So when it comes to us, they make you think it's really just like, oh, white people hate black people because they are dark skinned, and white people are pale skinned, and that's why they treat them this way. And it's like, that's not the reason. That could be some of the reason. That's some of the reason for a lot of them, but it's spiritual. Like, Edom around the world has, they mixed themselves with other nations. Jacob and Esau, Jacob was supposed to, Jacob, Israel, supposed to follow God. They didn't. Edom is from Esau. And Esau was mixing himself with all type of nations. And Esau hated his brother because of the birthright, right? And because God said he hates Esau and he loves Jacob, and Esau is the one, is basically like just Edomites, bro. Just where a lot of the Caucasian races and people come from. And we know what most of them have done to the world. Colonize, murder, terrorize, stolen, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? Raped people, take away G, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature, right? And the whole thing is, you study it out. You be like, what are you talking about? You study it out, look it up, do your own research, get you some books, the history and everything's out there. And do it while it's still legal to actually find this information, because they have like this one book, I forgot what it's called. I have the PDF of it though. And it's like $10,000 or more on Amazon. And it talks about the history of the Hebrews, and I think the history of like nations of people and where they come from, and just what's been happening throughout history and stuff. It's over $10,000, bro. So yeah. But anyways, back to what I was saying. The whole thing with this whole Trump stuff, right? It's all spiritual. You're like, why is this only happening to people of color, and why is all this racism flaring up, and like, you feel like we're in the 60s and 50s again, and like, why are people sitting up here trying to bomb the HBCUs because of what happened with Charlie Kirk when it wasn't even our people that did it? And why are like people trying to gather together, Palm Club people talking about they're gonna fight and stand or whatever for Charlie Kirk and not let his legacy die and all this stuff, and just foolishness like that. And it's because of the spirit, bro. The spirit of hatred for God's people. And Israel is scattered around the whole world, right? And people over there in Israel right now is not the people, alright? You do your own research on Khazars, Ashkenazi Jews, and Khazaria, King Bulan, how they speak Yiddish and not Hebrew. You do your own research, okay? So they have no Semitic blood in them. So they are the ones that's pushing for the Antichrist, right? And like, why would you think in the world where Satan is having dominion right now, that he's gonna have the people of the Lord, right, over there fighting for God and making moves and just promoting the Lord and saving souls and all this stuff, when he literally got kicked out of heaven because he wanted to be God. He hate God. He hate Jesus. Jesus died because of him. And you think he has to change your heart. We have to use our brains here, okay? So It's all leading to the Antichrist, bro. So that's that. But the whole thing towards the hatred towards us and other people of like darker complexions is because, for one, we are Judah, right? We are descendants from the tribe of Judah. The people who, for one, there's so many things I have to touch on to get to my point. The people who owned the ships were those fake JEW people over there, okay? The people who like was mostly in control of the slave trade and everything, and closed down the slave trades on their holidays, their ish holidays, were them. And they know who we are. They took us from the west side of Africa in the slave ships, and the people that was over there in the west side of Africa were from the Kingdom of Judah. And you look at the old map, you can see that. You can also do other research as well. You get you some books. Look up the Negro Land map, but you gotta find the one at the bottom where it says Kingdom of Judah, where it's on the slave coast, right? And that's where they got us from. Okay, and you should know by now, Satan can't tell the truth. All he do is lie. So everything you're seeing, the maps nowadays are lies. They're changing the history books. The books I think that we had in school, a lot of them were owned by what's her name? Ghislaine Maxwell or something? What's that dude name? Some girl that's tied into Epstein and all that. But anyways, I'm all over the place. So, yes, spiritual. It's all spiritual. We are from descendants of the people from the slave trade are from the Kingdom of Judah, right? And we are the descendants of them. And so that means we are Judah. And Jesus is the lion of the tribe of Judah. And Edom, Esau, they hate Jesus. They hate God. And they are tied in with the fake people over there in Israel that are basically serpent people. And they worship Satan and they try and bring forth the Antichrist. And they hate Jesus. They hate God because they know God hates them because they work for Satan. And they hate God's people. They hate everybody, but they hate God's people. Judah, Israel. And that is why we are in the state that we're in. That is why we have been, you'd be like, why is this stuff happening to black people? It doesn't make sense. Why are they even called black people? Nobody else is called yellow people. Nobody else is called tan colored people. Nobody else is called like any other color. It's just them. And also, the people at the top are the ones that are playing this whole race stuff. The fake JEWs over there control the media, they control porn, they control all this stuff. And they have it being white versus black against people, right? They have that happening. Because they don't want us to see that it's not us against each other, it should be us against them, because they are the ones that's like trying to lead everyone to the false Christ and kill so many people in population as well. But yeah, so that's why all this stuff been happening to us throughout 400 plus years and everything. And it's like, that's why it's like, it's spiritual, bro. It's not physical. That's what is going on. It's like read the Bible from front to back and do your research, and then you will understand why this stuff is happening. Oh my gosh, bro. This is why I can't have kids, bro. Cause like, why? Literally. It's like, oh, what are you crying over? nothing that's life or death. It's like, bro, can you be quiet? Calm down. So yeah, it is all spiritual. It's not physical, and it's not flesh and blood. Okay? It's not about, oh, they hate you because you're this color. It's spiritual. It's because we are from the line of the tribe of Judah. That's why we go through all these. We've been going through persecution since Egypt, and that's why we were sitting up here. That's why right now in 2025, almost 2026, there's still lynchings going on. Yes, you can look it up. I think it was in Mississippi, and I know there was one in New York, and there's others, of course, that they ain't talking about. That's why all this racism stuff come back out, because God coming back soon, and we are waking up to who we are. And again, like I've said before, I am not affiliated with these people that say they're Black Hebrew Israelites, who promote a lot of hatred and foolishness on the corners, yelling at everybody. I don't agree with those people. I don't claim them. Like I've said before, they are their founders are Masons, and they're just put in place to cause people to be like, y'all are the true people. Yeah, right. Look at how you're acting. Just make us sit up here and be like, yeah. So, anyways, I'm not gonna believe that. But yeah. So, anyways, what else was I gonna say? I put lotion on my back, by the way. But yeah, this is why all this stuff happening to us. For one, because we keep following other gods and following all these religions and stuff. Buddhism, Muslims, 5%er, Kemetic, what else? Hoteps, Catholic, even Christian. Like, Christian is, at least it's a little bit closer to the truth, but still, like, not the original faith, which is Hebrew. It's a mixture of Hebrew with paganism, which is why they still worship in these holidays like Christmas and stuff, which have nothing to do with God. And if you look up the history of it, it's all demonic. And they have that white Jesus, which had happened because of the Renaissance era, where they whitewash everything and all types of stuff. So we just don't know who we are. So that's the main thing. And then we out here, like I said, still getting lynched. Just all types of stuff. You know what happens. No, you know how it is for us and our people. If you at least have eyes to see. But yeah, so that's why all this stuff is happening. And I'll just say, make sure you do your research and study to show yourself approved. Don't just sit up here and be hung up on religion and caught up with just going to church and not doing your due diligence, studying the scriptures and like researching and just doing your research, bro. Like, you need to look up what happened with the Renaissance. You need to look up what happened with the slave trade, who owned the ships. You need to look up like I said, Khazarian, Ashkenaz, and King Bulan, and things of that nature. You need to look up what Negro land is, where it was, and you need to look up just think, bro. Do your research. Like, good grief. Like, just stop believing everything you're told and think for yourself. Alright, that's all I can say for you. Think for yourself and ask the Holy Spirit for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and for Him to lead you into all truth and to just help you come to the knowledge of the truth. So you're not sorry, that's my dryer. So you're not deceived and you're not like led astray. A lot of people are being led astray. Like the people in the higher ups know a lot of people are already for the Antichrist, because the whole thing with Charlie Kirk, it just let them know like people are really blind, don't have discernment, and they are manipulated to the point where they say, oh, well, this person believes in God and they're a follower of God because they said the name of Jesus, but don't care about how they're living, don't care about the words that come out of their mouth. And like God said, out of abundance of the heart the mouth speak. Don't care about their fruits that they're bearing. Don't care about how they live their life. Did they spread the gospel? Did they go and try to get people saved? Did they go share their testimony? Did they go try to get people to be baptized? Did they do any of that? Oh no. They just said Jesus and Jesus that. So they're just letting them know, oh, well, when the Antichrist comes, he just say a little something, something, he gonna have signs and wonders too. So they know, bro. This is why you have to have discernment. God said in the last days, people are gonna be deceived. And they're gonna deceive and be deceived. And they're gonna have itching ears and they're gonna want to hear the truth. So it's like you want to put your soul and salvation in the hands of a religion or church or whatever, and not in God and Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and the Word of God. You do you. Alright? I can't sit there stop you. I'm not saying your pastor's wrong. I'm not saying your religion is wrong. I'm just saying you need to think for yourself and make sure you are not on the wrong side. And religion in general, for me, I don't agree that we should be religious. I think we should have an intimate relationship with God every day and pray to find a good church home with people that actually live the word and that they're not just there to hear feel good sermon, and that they're getting fed, that they're getting taught, and that they're not out here being deceived. All right, that's what I think we should be doing. So yeah, just make sure you're safe out here as well with all this stuff that's going on, because they are lynching people, they are killing people, and they planning stuff, and it's not physical, right? It's not about, oh, white people hate black people, black people hate white people. It's about spirits. All right, it's the hatred for God's people, chosen people, right? He still have a covenant with us. And people be like, oh no, y'all, it don't matter no more. Jews and Gentiles, everybody's the same. And it's like, the thing is, God has said plenty of times in the Old Testament that he's going to regather Israel who's scattered, regather them so they be in Israel. He says it's going to be a remnant. Though there be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall return. Okay, if he was done, he would never say he's going to regather them. And the fact that he literally said he is giving us a new heart, not a heart of stone, but a heart of flesh, and he's going to have his commandments on our hearts so we don't keep sinning against him, because we kept sinning against him in the old days, kept doing what we wanted to do. And he was like, all right, I'll come up, I know what I'm going to do. I'll make them change their heart, and I'm going to write my commandments on their heart. And Paul said, don't boast against the natural branches. It isn't about, like I said, pride, like when people in the corner be preaching hate to everyone. It ain't about pride, it's about knowing your identity. All right, you're not black. You see this right here? This is black. You're not a black person. You are a Negro. You are from Negroland. You are a Hebrew or a Hebrewess, and that's what your identity is. Same for an Asian person. Like an Asian person, say they're Chinese, they are from China, and they are Chinese from Asia. What are you told? What do they tell us? Oh, you are just. They just say you're just a black person. You came from Africa. Where? Oh, right, you don't know. Right. Kenya know where they came from. Nigeria know where they came from. Well, how you say it, Ghanaian? Ghanaian know where they came from. But oh, well, Africa. Go to Africa. Where are you gonna go? What country are you going to? You don't know because it's strategic why you don't know. Because if you did know, you would sit up here and say, wow, so this is why my people are suffering the way they are. Because we turned our back on God, we worship in Babylon, we serving all this demonic stuff. And you know who pushing all this stuff on us? Those people in Israel, bro, who are God's people. They control the media, they control the music industry, they control the drugs and liquor stores that are in our communities, they control the food industries, trash, junk food, and all the stuff on our corners in our communities. They control the music that we listening to and they put these people in positions like Sexy Red and they flood our communities with that crap. And what do we do? Eat it up because we don't know who we are. And then we over here in fornication. And then we over here, where are the Planned Parenthood people at? Mostly in our communities. And then we sacrificing our children, Moloch. And you wonder why we are in the state we're in. Highest in disease. Because the Bible said it, bro. Alright? The Bible is the only truth we have in this world. So, read the Bible. Study what it says. The Bible says, Ashkenaz. In the Genesis, in the beginning, where he's talking about the genealogies and things, talks about Ashkenaz. Talks about Shem. We're from the line of Shem. Alright, they try to say Ham, but no, the Negro is from the line of Shem. So, I think in the Zondervan Bible it says that too, or dictionary, Zondervan dictionary. But, bro, you don't believe what I'm saying? I don't care. You could research all the stuff. It's out there. Go on Truth Unedited's channel. You can watch his stuff. It'll also help you. And do research through that. You can go on Pastor Stephen Darby channel. Do research through that. Go on Eshawn Burgundy's channel. He has some things as well. And you can, from their videos, you can research. And then from that stuff, you can do more research. Get books. And look at the Bible, tie it all in. Pray for wisdom. And you will see why all this stuff is happening. Yeah, man. So, just make sure you are just not being deceived, okay? That's why I don't agree with religion, because what church is telling you, like, I'm sure there's a few out there. I wish I could have one near me, but Lord willing, I'll be able to find one. But they're telling you this type of stuff and, like, just telling you who you are. Like, and then they want to get mad because they're like, oh, that's prideful. They're like, okay, you can keep walking around not knowing your identity. You do you. You keep walking around calling yourself black. You keep doing that. You keep walking around. And I forgot the dude that sat up here and did the categories of the races or whatever. But like black at the bottom, then you had Asian, like Mexican, Hispanic, and then white was at the top or whatever. And that's how we started calling each other black and white. And before it was about nations, right? Versus whatever we be doing now. But anyways, yeah. I guess that's all I'm gonna say for now. I can't think of anything else to say off the top of my head. But yeah, be safe and get in your word. And yeah, man, that's really all I can say. But I hope the video helps you. And again, be safe out here. Don't give in to the hate and the stuff you're seeing and one side versus the other and all this division. Just see things for what they are, which is spiritual. And yeah, keep asking God to lead you to the truth, and He will, because He said He'll lead us into all truth. And be willing to hear the truth and accept it as well. And yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. What's today? Wednesday. Well, I posted like 2 days this week. Or will not post again this week. But I'll see you guys soon. Take care.